Greetings, salutations, it's me, James, your BA Sensei, back with another Power Query tutorial. In today's video, we're going to take a look at some advanced table groupings. We are going to look at the table group function, but we're going to specifically look at this comparer, the fit argument to this function. We're going to apply it to this data set over here. You can see, so we have a couple of dates, and we got sales for those dates. Now, what I want to do is I want to do a specific kind of grouping where I say, basically, when there are two dates, consecutive dates missing in a data set, I want to make that one group. So for instance, 1, 2, 3 Jan, nothing missing, but on the 4th there's something missing. I don't want to make a group yet. So I keep track of that one missing date, and I see, oh, the 8th is missing. So now, because there are two dates missing, consecutive dates missing, I want to take this group, make it a group, and get the sum of the total sales. And then we do it for this one. So 8 is already missing, so already one missing. 11 is missing, so we're making the second group. And then we do the third group, the fourth group, fifth group, sixth group, based on that. And you can only do this with the fit argument, which is the custom comparer in the function. Well, enough talking. Let me show you how to do it. Okay, so as always, you select your data set, you go to data, and you go to from table range. Now this opens Power Query. So now let's quickly go add a column, and we say add an index column starting from 0. Okay, so I'm going to open the advanced editor. Let's quickly change this name. I don't like it when there's spaces in like that. I don't like that name. I'm just going to call this IDX, the variable name, return IDX in there. That's cool. We're going to add it from 0. That's all we need to basically give that function, right? And if we bring it back, looks something like that. There's your index column now added. Okay, before we go on to actually show you how I use the table group function, I'm going to show you some basic concepts of how I can use the index to get the previous date. Right, so this is just going to be a helper function to show. And in there, we're going to say, let's call this the previous. And in the previous, I'm simply going to say table add column. And we're going to add a new column to the index dataset, IDX dataset, and the new column is going to be called previous. Okay, and in there, I'm simply going to return each. And we are going to do a nested let, so let in. And I'm simply going to say, what is my previous index? And for previous index, it's quite simple. I would just say from my index data set, my index column, return index, which is the index, yes, but -1. Literally, that would return the previous index column. Yeah, let's quickly see, and let's just make sure we return the previous. Let's see what that does. So you can see, ignore the error because we didn't put any logic in there, but you can see for this row, the previous index is 0. This one, the previous one is 1. Just basically gets the previous number in the sequence. Cool. So let's go back to advanced editor. And now I can see the natural extension to that would be previous date. And I'm going to simply say IDX date and in curly brackets return previous index. Cool. And this should technically return my previous date. So you can see this one, the date before was the 1st. The date before that was the 2nd. Pretty cool. So we're going to use that concept. The second function we're going to do is, let's say we do a date diff. And that would simply be our date, which is our current date, less our previous date. And that should return the date diff, right? Number of days difference. Yes, there we go. Let's actually say duration days. That should be a little bit better. So now it's the number of days difference, correct? Cool. And then the last thing is, let's say the index diff, right? For that, we would basically have our index less our previous index. That's going to become important. That should seem quite self-explanatory because it should always be 1, right? Because 2 less 1 is 1. 1 less 0 is 1. Basically, it's just an indicator of your sequence. Correct. We're going to use that in our solution though, so that's why I'm putting it in there. For now, let's just return the date diff. All right, so this is our helper function. We're going to get rid of that code eventually. I'm just going to show you now, actually, now we're going to go over to the grouping, and in there we are going to use our table group. Yes, in our table group, let's start with our previous table. Yes. Okay, so the first argument is simply the table, the key. So the key in our case would literally be, I'm going to do it per date, per index. So I'm going to say there for the date, for the index, that is my grouping, comma, what's my next argument? Next, the third argument is the aggregated columns. What do we want to aggregate? So for now, I want to actually just do a sum of the cells, but to explain the concept and show you the grouping, I'm going to do something else. I'm just going to say grouping, and in there I'm simply going to say each, and I'm going to return underscore. That will return a table object. Okay, that's our third argument. Now the fourth argument is the group kind. That's optional. You get two group kinds. You get global and local. So local basically means we group to our nearest neighbor, and that's what we want to do. You can use a 0 for that, or you can use group kind local in our case, but this is actually the same as 0. Okay, cool. So our next argument would be, this is the magic one, the optional compare. We're actually going to use this logic to do a compare to group these things dynamically. So for a compare, you always need to declare two things to compare. You want to compare the, say, the previous and the current. And a comparer has a true false argument to it. So it's true, false. If it's true, it starts a new group. If it's false, it keeps the group. You're within the group. Okay, so in here, I'm going to say, let's basically start by getting the date diff that we had in there. So for in there, I'm just going to say, for my current perspective, I got a date. Less from my previous perspective, I got a date. So that will give me my date diff, right? And I'm just going to convert that into a number because that's going to give me like a number. Let's make this number from. Let's make sure it's an integer. And what I want to do is I want to basically check. I want to check my compare against something. When do I want to create a group? So I want to create a group when the number of days, the true or false, is bigger than, okay, my row, my index difference. Basically my difference between, is it my previous one or the current one? So I'm just going to say current index less my previous, where it's bigger, right? So this is always going to be 1. But before we do that, let's convert this to number from. Let's convert this whole thing into a number from like that. And let's see what this returns. And you can see it basically returns a table. All right, so let's quickly look at that. So the table basically tells you, cool, the first grouping is, you can see 1, 2, 3. So there, that's all consecutive dates. The second one is 5, 6, 7, all consecutive dates. But between the third and the fifth, there was one date missing. Consecutive dates, consecutive dates, consecutive dates, consecutive dates, consecutive dates. Now the little pattern here is it's basically going to create, because of this, it's because we're checking whether our consecutive dates, true or false, is there a consecutive date missing? Yes or no? If it is true, then we create a new group, as you can see there. But if we wanted to basically allow it to have 2 groups missing, or 2 consecutive dates missing, right? So this is 1 consecutive date missing. So it's always following each other. All we need to do is we just literally need to add a +1 in there. Then you'll see the result will be quite different. Here, now you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's a 4 missing there. And there should be 8. And the next one you can see there's an 8 missing. So now we're actually looking for 2 missing things. So basically this index thing over there, it's basically just telling me how many instances are you checking for missing values. And we're saying 2, true or false. Okay, let's keep it simple for now. Let's just keep it to 1. All right. And let's just work on our function and let's just flesh it out a little bit so everything works out. So let's say we want to not group it, but I want to get the total sum. So I'm going to say, cool, I want to do total sales. And total sales is each. And we can say list sum of our sales correct. And we can just do that. Now it's no longer a table. Okay. Now this is going to return the sales. Cool, for everything in our group. That's beautiful. Now what I want to return is in there, I want to basically return total sales. And you're going to total sales column. Cool. So now we basically have our custom grouping because of this custom comparer. Basically, you see what this compare does. It compared the number of times that we have a specific instance. So in this case, we had 1 missing, so we create a group by 1 missing date set. Okay, cool. So now let's quickly add another index column just for the groups. Let's start this one at 1. Cool, you see, let's open our advanced editor and edit this a little bit. I don't like when it calls it that. Let's say results. And we say index. Let's call this the group. And we can start at 1. I'm going to start the count at 1. That's brilliant. But we can simply say return the group and return the total sales in that order, and simply return the results. Let's see what that does. There we go. So there's our groupings, right? And if we return that, let's quickly check our grouping logic. I'm going to put it over there. You can see this grouping is group number 1, basically for these 3. See, so 1, 2, 3, that's consecutive. So that would be 55, right? And the second one would be 5, 6, 7. That would be 82, right? But I didn't want that behavior. I wanted to group it by where there are at least 2 dates are missing. You can see where the 4th is missing and the 8th is missing. This becomes one group. All I need to do in there is go in here and simply add the 1. If you bring it back, you'll see 137 would basically be, see, the 4th is missing, cool, 8 is missing, that is 137. That's how we're grouping it. Not much code, right? So you can literally see, just by using that the fit argument, which is this, that we can actually do custom groupings. And just one thing to remember, that the comparer is not just a row by row comparison. It's actually, it kind of defies your boundaries of your group. So in this case, because of the +1, we're saying where there are 2 instances where you basically break your pattern, right? Or if you just have 0, where there's 1 instance of you breaking your pattern, which is where the date difference is more than 1. Right. Okay. Anyway, so I hope that showed you a little bit how you can use table groupings to do some amazing custom grouping. BA Sensei, signing out.